Okay, so let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I am Jackie, Anyword COO. Our company mission is to remove the guesswork from writing for marketing. With Anyword, you can get more conversions and drive more sales with AI that crafts and optimizes your copy variation. So today, we are going to learn how to implement consistent user messaging in the marketing funnel while keeping in mind resources and constraints and increasing the ROI. Just before we start, if you have questions during our conversation, just ask them in the Q&A box below. We have team members answering questions in real time, so feel free to write your questions. We will discuss some questions at the end with everyone. Roni is with us. Hi, Roni. I'm super excited to talk with you in this masterclass. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. And thanks everyone for joining us.
Can you please start and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the user acquisition field for a bit over 7 years now. I have experience working with both B2B and B2C companies. And during my career, I was in charge of millions of dollars of ad spending for several brands such as Vimeo, Glue, and Double L Casino. And today I'm the head of the user acquisition team at Anyword.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Roni. As a head of user acquisition, what would you say your main responsibility and goals?
Sure. So I'm in charge of all of Anyword's paid marketing activities. That means my main goal would be to bring quality leads into Anyword's platform, which will eventually convert. To achieve this goal, I would first need to understand my target audience and what are the best marketing channels to reach them. Then I would work with the creative team on creative assets such as videos, banners, copy, landing pages that will eventually resonate with my audience and, of course, match the Anyword brand. And eventually, I would also, of course, work with my team to analyze our platform's data, decide on how to split the budgets between the different channels and campaigns, etc., and basically make sure that we are making the most out of every dollar that we spend.
I'm sure many of our participants can relate to these marketing routines and how much the marketing atmosphere is dynamic and ever-changing. For us at Anyword, we recently came up with a new product offering for new targeted personas, which we refer to as acquire, convert, and engage. Acquire is for performance marketing and media teams. Convert is for digital customer experience and web teams. And engage is for content and social media teams. So, Roni, how does that impact the acquisition activities?
That was definitely a big change for us. We started off by planning the go-to-market strategy. So we worked with the product team to understand the product changes and who the new targeted persona is. Then we brainstormed with the creative and sales teams on the new branding, customer pain points, and new messaging for our ads and our landing pages. So I want to dig deeper a little bit about how we did that. And take for this example, the Engage offering that you mentioned. So our customer persona for Engage can be either email marketer, SEO manager, demand generation, content manager, or social media manager. We went to research how to reach them in each channel. I would focus on Google for this example. So we did a keyword research on SEMrush, and we built the new campaigns structure. So I want to show you a little bit of sneak peek on our Google campaign for the Engage persona. You can see here personas such as SEO meta description, email, social media, like I mentioned, and each ad group contained specific keywords for this specific persona, such as meta description generator, email subject line generator, or AI in social media. So we needed to restructure the whole account and shift the budgets to ensure that we make enough room for the new marketing plans. And this was a drastic change in how we structured the marketing activity.
Okay, so that sounds a lot, right? So let's break it down and talk about it like step by step. And let's start with how did you restructure your ads?
Sure. So as I mentioned, the offering for Engage, for the offering of Engage, there are several customer personas, email marketer, SEO, demand gen, content manager, and social media manager. And sometimes these functionalities are done by the same person, but not always. So if someone searches for a particular problem, such as SEO meta description, they would probably not respond well to an ad about a social media or an email marketer, even though we consider it to be the same solution. So we wanted to make sure that we create a consistent flow from the search to the ad. So the user would get the exact relevant ad according to their search terms. So since Anyword, as I'm sure all of you know, is an AI copywriting tool for marketers, and we have different targeted personas in the tool, to create the copy, I went to Anyword. I'm sharing this in for a second. So before I started creating the copy, I created this targeted persona on Anyword using the brainstorm that we did prior and the research that we've done with the product and creative and sales team that I mentioned before. The way it works is that I put in the age, the gender if relevant, and the pains. So for SEO, the pain would be, for example, high bounce rates or create article title. And for email marketer, it would be open rates, engagement with the email, clicks, etc. So even though there are two marketers here, the pains and the needs are very, very, very different. And we needed to create specific copy for each of these specific personas. So I went into Anyword. This is my Anyword document that I used. And I went to the persona inside the tool, created the Google search description, and market the email marketer. And these are the copies that I got. You know, when you were, I'm sure that you do, when you are working with a copywriting team, creating the perfect copy takes days. You need to, there's a lot of back and forth. You need to fine tune everything. There are always conflicts on deciding on the exact accurate messaging. And it really takes a lot of time. So even when using Anyword, you still need a process. So I got this initial copy variations, and I wanted to improve them. If you can see on the side, you see here the scores, 76, 65, 64. These actually tell me what the chances of each variation to convert according to Anyword's datasets on millions of ad spending that we have. It is reliable in my experience, at least for my campaigns. So usually I try to improve them, but I should always take it with a grain of salt because not all audience will respond to the same messaging. And I need to ensure that this is relevant for my audience. So to fine tune my copy, I would use the rewrite functioning, and I would get better copy variations out of the recent copy variations that I got. And here you can see an example how I took the create emails that generate high open rates copy and got create emails that have high open rates in just a few clicks. It's a very minor change, but to see that the score is significantly higher. And I think there is an urgency or like an incentive that was missing in this first variation. To make another fine tuning, I clicked on the score and I saw the detailed demographics. Here, I make sure that I see the age distribution and the gender distribution. I see that I have enough similar variations of previous Anyword data so that this score is reliable. And I check out the features, the offering, the pains, to really fine tune everything. We ended up creating 12 Google descriptions and 45 headlines, which creates perfect pre-responsive search ads on Google. And it only took us about 30 minutes to finalize our ads.
That's really a nice work, Roni, I might admit, but I guess that now that your campaign went live, you just need to monitor and tune it slightly. Is that right?
Yeah, you wish. So the creative team worked tremendously on creative the landing pages. I just want to present a little bit of the issue that we ran into. They worked really, really hard. We had a lot of back and forth, a lot of discussions about the layout, the copy, the graphics, really anything. And we came up with this lovely landing page. Let me show you. You see here, you can see here that we are trying to reach several personas, boost SEO, improve open rates, get more followers. These are three different solutions that Engage offering is giving. But I'm sure most of you ran into this issue when you're trying to reach several personas. Sometimes the messaging is not specific enough and it's too general, and it doesn't resonate. And I will show you the flow and why it doesn't resonate. So this is how the user would experience the ads using this specific landing page. So if you are looking for an email generator, you'll get an ad about an email generator because of the prior process that I described. And the same thing is with SEO meta description. You will get an ad about an SEO meta description, but both of these people would get this landing page: boost SEO, improve open rates, get more followers. And if I was an email marketer, I'm not sure, even though I see here the open rates, the first thing is SEO. So I'm not quite sure that I would respond well to this landing page. So we went live with this landing page because we needed something stable. We had a lot of tests with new targeting, new messaging, new ads, everything was new. And we needed a bit to create a benchmark. So we went live with this page and started collecting data, but simultaneously, I also started work and think, how can I improve the user experience with this consistency from the ad to the landing page?
Mm-hmm. So generally speaking, what would be the best practice to get to that consistent user experience?
That's the gold question, Jackie. So many tests. I mean, it would include many tests. Ideally, I would use a tool like Google Optimize or Unbounce to create a messaging test for each of my audience segments. How it looks is something like this. I have all of these ad groups, all of these targeted personas. Each of them has its own landing page. And for each landing page, I need to test different assets, right? I have a headline, call to action, subheader, and I have features and benefits, and I need to test each of them. This is extremely time consuming and also budget costing to test everything. And because it takes so much effort, probably most marketers, I know that probably I would settle for a good enough option, because you can't get to the perfect variation of everything, testing so many things for so many audiences. It's nearly impossible. And also you need to keep in mind that this was only one offering out of 3 that we launched. Like you mentioned, we had Acquire for acquisition managers, Convert for CRO, and Engage for these personas. So it's really endless.
Yeah, so let me stop you here, Roni, and ask everyone, what would your strategy be in this situation? Would you start with one persona? Would you choose to test only one asset? Will you increase the budget? Let me share a poll here, a quick poll, and see what do you think. Okay, I see people are answering. Oh, different answers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, let me end the poll and just share the results. As you can see, there's no one magic answer, you know, to this question. What do you think, Roni? What do you think about the answers that you see here?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, as I mentioned, you can't test everything at the same time, unless you like go wild with budgets, which most marketers cannot do, and sometimes it's not even the smartest thing to do. So I totally agree. I get like how these answers are split between the start with one persona or one headline. Mostly, so it makes sense to me to choose. You don't want to settle on a good enough option. So to get to the perfect variation, you would need to do it one by one, but then you need to remember it takes a lot of time. So that's the cost of doing it that way.
So how did you end up solving this issue?
So here is where Anyword comes to play. With Anyword, we have a tool called website targeted messaging. And with this tool, I can easily test everything in one landing page. So whether it's a targeted persona, whether it's testing a few assets at the same time, we united everything for one landing page. So we created one landing page for each offering: acquire, engage, and convert. This is the engage one. I will show it in a second. And started making variations, and let me show you how it works. In our Google campaigns, we use UTM parameters for the search keywords. So that we know for each user that clicked on our ad, what ad he or she came from and what he or she was looking for. You can already see in this example, and I will show in a brief how it works exactly, but you can already see that I have a UTM parameter for email. That means that this user clicked on an email ad, and you can see the copy for the headline and the header is changed for email marketing to answer the email marketing pain. So now I have one landing page, and whether I search for an email generator or an SEO meta description, I would get different messaging. Again, the same landing page. So I can create different variations, copy variations for each segment. And this is how it works. I went to the website targeted messaging tool, and I created audience segments in this tool. Each audience segment includes a UTM parameter that I define what it contains so that Anyword knows what to look for. And it would also impact the keywords that I can implement for this audience segment. And Anyword would create relevant copy for this audience segment according to the keyword that I put. So I will show you a little bit how it works with SEO. Don't look at the numbers right now. I will explain everything. So here I have the SEO audience segment. As you can see, I have headline, and you can see the header just below. But basically, I can test, like I mentioned, any asset on this landing page, whether it's a button, whether it's a call to action, feature, any copy that you have on this page, you can change using this tool. And I got the variations for the SEO marketing, which I will focus on in a second. I want to show a little bit what the numbers mean. You have the right column, which means the visitors that you had on your website, seeing each copy variation, and the conversions for this copy variation. When I say conversion, this is something that I define to Anyword, what I consider as a conversion action. So for me, it was signups, but you can easily put it in with a click of a button. And then Anyword will also calculate the probability of any variation to be the best and the expected conversion rate. Why is it the expected conversion rate? It's because you are testing multiple assets at the same time. So Anyword combines between them, like headline A with subheader B and vice versa. And then Anyword knows how to calculate the chances of this copy to win, or the expected conversion rate according to this. So this actually allowed me to test several assets at the same time, and save all of this trouble. And what interesting is that I saw, So I had this headline of meta description copywriting with predictable results that was working quite well. But then Anyword suggested to me to add the first two words, create SEO meta description with predictable results. These two copies are basically almost identical. And in another world, I will probably even not have tested both of them. I would probably choose just the one. But this tool allowed me to test it so easily that I said, heck, I'm just going to do it. And the results were amazing. So instead of 26, 25 expected conversion rate, I got 33. This is an amazing lift. And it really showed me that every word counts, or any word counts. And again, returning to the slide, just now I have, after I put in the UTM segments, I put in the variations, and now I have this consistent flow for any user to get the relevant landing page for each ad. And this is the lift that I got when I finished. I managed to increase the conversion from 18 to 21, and I got a lift of 12% in total conversions for this specific landing page. Okay, that was a lot. So Jackie,
yeah,
would you like
that was
to...
a long one, and thank you very much for sharing your journey, right? And the results are awesome. We cannot argue with that. So let me just try to recap, that journey that you kind of like walked us through. You started with several running campaigns, and there were several product updates that had an impact on those campaigns, and then you figured out the targeted personas and their pains, and worked on creating the perfect messaging for them, right? But you landed up, or you had like just one landing page, so you had to restructure it and try to tweak it to address those different audiences. You went live using an imperfect landing page to get benchmark and keep your test as clean as possible. And then you use the website targeted messaging to improve copy variations and create a consistent experience, and you increase conversion rate by 12%. This is really, really awesome. So how would you summarize those gains that you got, going that path?
Yeah, how I summarize these gains is, so first I saved resources by needing only one landing page. So resources of development, of QA, of time again. And then I save time and money on not having to A/B test every single one of the landing page and landing page assets. I improved the user experience by having a consistent flow, and I increased the conversion rates by having Anyword optimizing constantly the traffic to get to the optimal version. And I save time and resources on easily creating new copy variations and trying to beat my own benchmark.
Okay, I got a feeling that we are ready for another quick poll. And the question now is to everyone: do you think your marketing team would find this solution helpful? Let me just present this, and let's see what you answer. I hope everyone can see the results. Most people think that this will be very appealing to their teams. Some need to think about it, and some think that it isn't relevant. That's thank you very much for answering that. Roni, so does this mean now you can sit back and relax and have Anyword do all the work for you?
Yeah, now I can just sit back and drink coffee. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, this definitely helps in the way that it takes off specific tasks of the day and let me focus on innovation and basically create new ways to optimize my campaigns and make them more effective and get rid of this specific type of tasks.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's get into our Q&A session. A lot of people have had some really great questions. Let me just look into that. Have you ever had a lower conversion rate than the control copy? Wow, this is a tricky one.
Yeah, no, actually it's easy. Of course I did. As I mentioned, not every audience responds well to the same message. So I definitely had situations where I had a winner copy for Google, for example. Then I tried it on Facebook users and they didn't respond to it. So the conversion rate was actually lower than the control or the baseline, as we call it. So the beauty of this tool is that if you run into a copy variation that doesn't perform well, you can create a better one easily using Anyword, and just try to beat it and have a specific messaging for this audience. So it happens, you know, not every test's win, but you can easily solve it.
Okay, here another one. I'm a Anyword user. I have a basic plan. Can I use the landing page copy tool?
Yes, actually, this tool is open for everyone. Each and every one of you can go into your Anyword platform, and on the left you would see a menu. So you can find the website targeted messaging tab, and feel free to try it out and see if it helps you.
Okay, I think we'll pick one last one. I'm not a web developer. In terms of implementation, how hard is it to use the landing page improver?
That's a really good question. It's actually super simple. When you launch your campaign, you will easily receive you will see a simple code snippet. This code needs to be implemented on this landing page by a simple copy and paste. So you can either do it by using WordPress yourself, or if you have a developer that is working with you, they can do it. It just takes a few minutes or a few seconds even. So it's super easy, and we are here if you have any questions and need more guidance on how to implement it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just picked several questions, but we will make sure to answer all your questions after this meeting. I think this is the time that I would like to thank you, Roni, for taking your time and sharing your journey and success story with us. I would like to thank everyone for your participation. Feel free to reach out to me. You will see the email that you can actually write and ask questions back. So feel free to reach out if you have any question, if you want to know more about how is this solution could be used for your marketing team. We will be sharing the meeting recording with you. I hope to see you all in our upcoming master classes and wish you all a great day. Thank you very much for joining.